Okay, thank you. So we have three teams who will just publicly discuss. We are not winning or losing, so we are all learning here, but definitely when we have a actually false our jury I'll probably crawl back. So we have experts in the room. So when you present, everyone can learn from your solution, and experts can think like they're like, for example, CTO, kind of. So they will say what is important for them, and we all together can learn a bit how do we see, how do we perceive outside the solution. I think it's fair enough to share. So who would like to start? Which team would like to start?
I would start with the team in the middle.
Okay, with the team in the middle.
Like the number was, I believe, 6, 7, correct? So we have
8, 7, 6.
Let's start with 7.
Okay, the team with
Okay, then let's start with 5.
You can bring your whiteboard, so you have a wonderful handwritten everything.
We can start with the team that has 5.5.
5.5. So, folks, are you ready? Are you ready, or you need more time to prepare? Your team? Yeah? Yeah. My team. Okay, everyone needs time.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Are you ready? Or do...
Ready.
Ready. Thank you. Thank you. Do you have anything to show, or you can just explain?
Either way, doesn't really matter.
Do you have something to show?
We have some stuff, but I don't think it's like showable.
Good. Let me show the team number. How much time?
Yeah.
Alec, it's a good question.
You have approximately 4 minutes, and then we have around 2 minutes per jury to give you feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Team number?
3.
3. Perfect.
And Tim, can you start timer on the screen?
Just a second. Yeah. I can do everything. It just takes time. Yes. Team 3? Yes. Team 3. Yeah. Perfect.
I like the mentor.
I will make timer for you, so no pressure.
Okay, in team number 3, we started with a lot of discussion and storming. I think that's like a similar experience to everyone else. So we had a lot of divergent opinions, and we somehow managed to converge to something that was similar for everyone. So we said, okay, there is this enormous amount of dependencies concentrated into this shopping cart experience team. And what we gravitated towards, here is the text. So we discovered this enormous dependency, and our solution doesn't require any additional headcount, which I think is a plus. So, and now our shopping cart team, basically, the idea for it is to become some sort of part of a platform, so to minimize the functionality that's within the shopping cart in order for it to become some sort of a service that everybody could use in some way that they needed, and our streamlined team would then use that and implement changes that come from their domain-specific requirements easier than it was before, because we noticed, okay, now everybody needs to basically explain the shopping cart team why and how they need to do something dependent on their domain, which is a very complicated style of collaboration, and we wanted to avoid that. So we wanted to enable as much as possible the teams that are streamlined to be able to work independently from the shopping cart. And this was the overall team and idea. And now how to do this is, I don't know if that's right, but some sort of a minimal shopping cart. Also this mobile team was some sort of a big thing as well. Maybe there could be some platform that could offer these services, and then everybody, let's say, streamlined product team could use this. So we kind of noticed that over time this startup has developed because there was a in the beginning like a pet shop, physical products that they were selling, and over time they started to add more insurance type products that were different. So there could be some differences here in the Streamline team, but I would say I don't know. We don't know so many details, and this was kind of an abstract solution we had. And as a architecture, yes, so split this card functionality to main platform and the main specific parts that would then go into the different teams. So that's our solution. Okay, that's it.
And less than 3 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. Good. Do you have questions to the team?
I do have questions.
So ready.
All right.
I'm going to shout. People can probably hear me. Oh, there's another one.
I'm blind. What happens to the other stuff that the team was doing? Like, no headcount, right? Like in something, you don't need more people. Awesome. But it doesn't sound like they're doing all of the stuff that they were doing before. Right? We've got 5 microservices, 2 front-end applications. The tests you took care of, you're like, oh, everybody else can do those. But what happens to the rest of the stuff? How do you split?
That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
It depends. So I think the thing that we had as an idea is to have those people be the enabling. Okay, they're not themselves teams, but they are like enabling agents for the other teams. In the time being, they're transferring knowledge, they're helping the others integrate their changes, etc. So they're over time becoming this kind of part of this enabling team that is supporting and assisting the others. I would say.
Yeah, that part totally makes sense. But from a structural point of view, somebody's got to build these 2 other front-end applications. Presumably they're necessary, right? Like, we don't know from this description, but like, if those things are still necessary, somebody else has to do it. So I like the idea of them becoming like a core platform team and like building the stuff that everybody else needs and not managing products of their own. I like that idea structurally, but if the stuff is still necessary, somebody's got to do the stuff. So that's something that's a bit
I
missing.
think it was clear that she said the domain stuff stays in the domain. So
Yeah.
the domain people have to do the domain stuff. So
But
I don't know.
this team runs 2 front-end applications itself.
But
This team runs 2 front-end applications itself. And it's like responsible for the front end and the users and everything else, presumably then with those 2 applications. And those have disappeared in your plan.
they should do the service, like the minimum shopping cart, and the domains should do everything that is domain driven. Like we need for a dog insurance, we need some new stuff and so on, and they have to provide it. So we have to change the API that was historically built for the shop. Reduce it so that every domain can use it, and it depends. Like you have to look at the detail to evaluate the workload, and then maybe replace some developers or.
I think it really depends on what are those specifics. Like when you say there's 2 front-end applications, like why? Like what's the differences? Like,
Yeah, we don't know the details
Yeah.
yet, but presumably they're like useful to some extent. Otherwise, they hopefully would have died at some point in natural death. But like, I'm not like I don't want to pick on just that point. So otherwise, I like the idea.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, from my side, to be honest, I also like that you created the core team with some kind of settings, teams around, to decrease the dependency. From another side, I didn't find the concrete answers on the challenges. What was written in this Kata. So in terms of resources, in terms of services, I think it was written that it was like insurance service, and this is more like advice, like to provide more concrete answers, yeah, because in terms of REST API, in terms of GraphQL, front-end application, how you're going to solve this?
Yeah. So this was exactly one of the things that we were struggling, because the only thing that we saw that was more concrete was like this inference style products, and that's actually we put it somewhere, but we were like, okay, for the solution we only have like, okay, there's 9 product teams, and this is probably our stream-aligned teams in some way.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell, like from a CTO VP point of view, yeah, so it's better already come with the concrete answer, yeah. Even if you're not sure, yeah, so if you come, like this is our insurance product,
Yeah.
this is like connection, this is event-driven system, this is how they will communicate,
Correct.
and this is like GraphQL which looks to the world, and if you're not sure, you can create some question mark and so on, yeah.
Okay.
So this is like,
That's cool.
be more concrete.
Actually, I would. I'm from team 2, that's why I'm trying to.
Yeah, and there are 2 more sitting, so it's a teamwork.
Well, actually, I expect this answer from the VP, right? Like, why should we come? Why should I come up as an engineering manager with all solutions?
Exactly. No, that's the point. That I mean, this is kind of your domain. This is your team, and you kind of as engineering manager responsible for your team,
Senior engineer.
right? Yeah. But senior engineering manager, yeah. But like the architecture, like the challenges, needs to be kind of presented to the CTO VP level with some concrete example.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the VP who has
It depends, of course, on the size. Yeah.
Yeah.
to see what's going on in your.
Learning.
Yeah, as a CTO, you have to come up with okay, we have this dependencies here, so let's sit together and disrupt it, and don't wait for an EM, a poor EM on the solution.
I think in this case, though, you're at a level where for the next person up, he or she doesn't have time to go. He or she doesn't have visibility into what's happening underneath. They just see like, poor delivery, late, delayed because of this team results.
Yeah.
It depends on your relationship with this person, of course. It depends on any number of details. Yeah, but if you come with there are problems, that's not going to make friends further up the chain. If you come with proposed solutions, or a desire to discuss, hey, I'd like to discuss this, here's how I think we could solve it, do you agree? This is much easier. Like, managers love it when you take work away from them.
You have to also look a little bit on your own things.
Yeah, just with respect for time, I'm already noticing some interesting patterns. I'll make a summary. Kimberly, what do you have to add? Thank you, Alex and Jack.
Maybe 2 quick questions or 2 things to remark on is one, we sort of moved quickly over the timeline, right? It was meant reference, we're doing this is what we're going to improve ideally, and it's all going to happen in 3 to 5 months without a lot of insights into how you came up with that. So that was just comment number 1. The second is that there's, you use that right at the bottom of this like pyramid or the structure, you have minimal shopping cart, minimal, the minimal mobile. It'd be helpful to know what that means, right? Because if everything is going to communicate and flow, if people have different understandings of what minimal means, then you really might not ever move away from having a platform team, right? So if minimal is still really large, then you haven't really changed the structure. So I was curious about both of those areas.
Well, that's really good. So we were talking about like how do we do this, like the specifics of it, and we had some markers, I think, from the text that was there that you could see from the problem that there was often backward compatibility issues, that there would be a lot of breaking changes over time, that we wanted to avoid that one in particular, because the smaller you make it, then the easier, the less I would say there would be this problem. But I wouldn't say we are able to define it right now, but we definitely need to incrementally reduce and find like the common denominator, what's like between the different teams. Maybe also depending on the domain, strategy, this type of questions where, okay, what's the start of doing next and introducing next? Okay, then how is my architecture still going to be able to support it, or stuff like that, I think. It's not an easy thing to answer, but it's a very interesting question.
Can I ask last question?
Okay, always the last one.
Last question. It was like also one of the question was like how you're going to improve the motivation of the team and engage all together. Yeah. So I mean it's not written, but maybe you can answer on this question.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss that one. But yeah.
Punishment? But motivation, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Amazing. So, first of all, thank you for the presentation. And thank you the team for the work. Thank you for the support from the team. And thank you for the feedback. Just a quick check to align. So who of you, for example, you see the team started with what I remember, they said, we decided not to hire more people, which is probably good to hear for C-level. What other teams decided also not to hire more people? Okay, good. At least we see... Yeah. Good. So, who decided to split in something like this? Just maybe to... Okay, once again.
Not like this, but
Okay.
the split in topologies. Topologies are applied.
Yeah, but that was the idea for everyone. But the idea to make a platform team out of the whole group. Okay, so we see some patterns, right? So we see some patterns. So we had interesting feedback about, for example, the last feedback about like who discussed the details, like what exactly you want to. Okay, some discussions. Okay, and the last but not least, I think it was interesting question about open questions, because you see we discovered expectations. Thank you for actually helping, because like you expect VP to solve. As VP, I hire you as smart people. I don't want to decide on your behalf, and that's the answer. So who of you expected VP to solve it? To tell you what to slide? No? Okay. Good.
Anymore.
Good. Not anymore. Okay. Good. The goal achieved. Thank you. Okay. Do we have at least one more team who would like to share their case? Do you have something visual also? Yeah. Yeah. Let's have one more story at least, and then. Thank you. You decide. You have time to think. Yeah. Team number 8. Okay, I need to scroll. Sorry, we will see all the teams. Yeah, 8.
Some of those were empty.
Okay, good. Good. If you want, you can use this one. You can also use it as a pointer if you like. Good. I'll start timer here. Just you see it. Keep an eye on it, right? Just no visible flash.
Hi, hello. So I'm from Team 8. We are going to present the closer.
Yeah.
We're going to present the Kata what we have discussed, and now we are going to present it about.
Next slide. Right? Sorry, just a second. Yeah. 2 screens. It happens. Yeah. Try again. Yes.
Yeah. So for vision and plan, separation of responsibilities and domain experts for each aspects of the project. So first we implementing the metaship, pair programming, automated test code reviews, and TDD, and parallelizing the test suites. So these are the aspects we are thinking to reduce the burden of the resources and manage the delivery better. Team topologies, establishing the team alignment. So each and every backend developers should own 1 microservices and more, because we have 5 microservices. So overall engineers we have 8, but we don't know how many backend engineers and how many of them are front-end engineers. So we assume 4 of them are the backend engineers. So we have totally 5 microservices. So we dedicate 4 backend developers to maintain the 5 microservices, and we consider that in case if each backend developers, consider actually 5 of them are backend developers, so each one will manage the microservices, microservices. So we have only 3 front-end developers. In 3 front-end developers, we consider they have to maintain 2 applications. One based on the expertise in the front end, we allocate them two of them for one front-end application and one for one front-end application. And the front-end developers has to collaborate with the QA as well frequently to run the test suits, because they are working closely, QA and front-end, they're going to work closely, and they have to maintain the agreement between them to run the TDD, and backend handle the internal and external dependencies as well. The next one is establishing the enabling team. So in this team we have an architect and EM and project manager. So they have to take responsibility. They collaborate and they have to take a responsibility to triage the API dependencies and external API dependencies on all the requests and everything from the API request and all those things. And they have to understand the bandwidth and pick limited work from the prioritized backlog. So they should not be, the developers should not be overloaded. Okay, so the next one is our architecture. So this is the architecture we propose. So here, this is the streamlined topology or team. Actually, this is the external team. So in the external team, we have architect, project manager, and EM. So here, and here's the development team here. So there are 5 microservices. In the 5 microservices, we assume that actually 4 or 5 backend developers. They will maintain this microservices, and one front-end application, either 1 or 2 front-end developers, are the same thing for the next 2 applications. So totally 2 front-end applications, 3 front-end developers has to manage, and end-to-end test, which is part of the test suits. It has to run closely with the front-end engineering application. So this is the architecture we propose, and that's it. Thank you.
Me first again. What happens with people? Like, is there any more resources? You didn't address this part at all? Like,
We updated the.
We have.
It's not there yet.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Updating during the presentation doesn't display. That's so that somebody can't really embarrass you while you've already got the slides up. So if you don't want to be embarrassed, just put the slides in display mode and they can't change it on you.
Yeah, here it is. Actually, we set the timeline for 1 quarter.
Learning, fast learning from the previous reply.
Yeah. So we set the timeline 1 quarter. Slowly, in the next quarter, we are giving capacity based on the developers' workload and everything. We will increase the capacity if we need it. Or at the same time, we are dedicating services. Actually, right now we decided to have each one backend developer should have take a responsibility for 1 microservices. Going forward, maybe they may take more responsibilities, and maybe if they are overloaded, maybe we can reduce the responsibility from some of the microservices.
So they can have half a month of us then.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, from my side, I mean, I assume this provides in the test suits, and this will decrease the automation test running time, right?
Yes.
So that was okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I hope this will help. Yeah, but sometimes the problem is can be much deeper. Yeah. So. Also, I didn't find kind of clear explanation about how you're going to decrease the dependency from the other teams. Yeah, so when you have like a mobile team, you have some other teams, and all the time they're requesting your team to with some requests, right? So your actually created another team which kind of handle the external requests. This is, I mean, from my point of view, this is a little bit more like operational hack, like to solve the operational
said this because the architect, the PM, and the AM would triage those requests and manage what's coming in and prioritize them.
Exactly. But this is, from my point of view, this is kind of operational fix. Yeah. So please correct me if I'm wrong. I think what we need to do, because in a Kata was a quarterly plan, so provide the plan. So we need to kind of create a plan to avoid such a request at all.
Yeah.
So we should create not a plan how to create another team which handle all requests, ad hoc requests, and solve the API request again and again, but create a plan how we're going to decouple this part which creates a kind of friction and dependence on our team and remove this at all from it. To not have this team at all.
We completely have no dependency.
No dependency, zero dependency. Yeah?
Ideal.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
You can turn the services off, and then that will work.
No, I mean, as I remember from the Kata description, the kind of original was about the animal, right? So now we have insurance, now we have another kind of services. Maybe makes sense to review our current architecture and then just rewrite some services, couple them from the team, so that no external kind of request will come from another team.
So the service will be completely moved out of the team and we
Exactly,
have to hand it over to some other.
In my opinion, the team should be independent and the team should have ownership without dependency to the other teams. Yeah, and what I'm trying, this is more like my advice, right? So because now it was like a plan to solve this, when the ship is on fire, to solve problem right now. What we can do to solve problem now. But long-term solution will be we need to remove dependency. Yeah, we need to provide ownership to the team, maybe to increase the amount of services, maybe rewrite the service to decrease the whole, external kind of dependency. Yeah. Good. Thank you. But all right. Thank you.
I'd like it to. Again, I have two things. Do you mind just going to your diagram slide, I think the next one? Yeah. So I'm curious here when we're just reflecting back on the initial slides about how you want to structure things to then impact your organization. And I'm curious because you have external teams and then you've got everybody below, and I noticed that the arrow, so if we be very specific, is unidirectional and not bidirectional. And so I was curious if that was by design, is that information is always going to flow one way. Your architect, your PM, your EM are always sending information down to the teams that seem to be communicating in some ways, but I'm curious about that external team setup and the bidirectional, or the unidirectional arrow instead of bidirectional. And then I have one more thing after that.
But we design it's a bidirectional. But of course, I agree with you. Yeah, we can have it as a bidirectional because the team also sometimes, they may give some valuable input to the architects. So that they can change in case the actual team is going to be implement all the changes, what are the requests they are giving. So in case if they cannot manage some of the workload, they have to give some input to the architect and EM so that they may take some decision in future. So yes, obviously it has to be a right.
And if you think about if this is your team that you're in or the organization that you work in, it's very top down without giving a lot of control or autonomy in some ways to the team, like if just based on the structure. So it's something to think about. My last thing was the edited slides that were added. What I was talking about after this quarter, we will then diversify. A nice thing there would have been what you would have then proven. Like, I know we don't have a lot of time, but some success criteria. So testing, I know, is definitely throughout here. But I know the case was saying, how can we actually test hypotheses? So here it just makes it seem like 3 months are up, the quarter's over, now we can start to move forward. So whoever was editing the slides in the back, it would have been helpful to also see like, what's that in-between step? Like at what point or what would we see to either say, yes, let's start to diversify or not?
Yeah, actually after the quarter, so if the problems, what are the problems we had, actually that's sorted out, then we feel that okay, it's good. So then we can continue, and if everything goes fine, we can continue with the same thing. If it is not going good, if we get any hiccups and the team says that something we need some more capacity, if still we have the same problem with the delivery, then we have to think about the second thing. Okay, maybe we can increase the headcount, or maybe we can diversify, because who is expert in some microservice, maybe we can move that person to do the other microservice. So maybe it's all about how it is going. So the first quarter is the actual thing we try to set up this. So everything is fine. We don't need to do any change. If something not happened, if something is not going well, then we have to think about the other two options.
Yeah, I think the key point here is, what's the something you're going to evaluate that something on, right? Like, how are you going to measure? Is it going to be the reduced test times? Is it going to be the reduced cycle times? Is it going to be reduced requests? So to have something where you say, these are things that we can actually put some kind of numbers, metrics on that we can count. And I know, like in an hour, you guys have all done phenomenally well. Like for an hour, it's just not. Right?
Actually, we define the problems first.
Yeah.
So what are the problems? The delivery and the technology dependencies. So all these points actually we didn't find it out here. So if that criteria is meted out, then we are good. If it's not met, then we have to improve with this points actually.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, the team in the background, for the teamwork updating, and thank you for the questions and feedback.
Thank you for being brave and come here to show your outcomes and to be ready to get a direct feedback. Just a quick, I'm really curious, like I really love it what you just said. I'm curious which of the teams thought about decreasing dependencies and had a really great solution from it. Nice. Let me choose this team. Ira, can someone from your team tell us, like, what is your approach to decrease dependencies on other teams?
First, we are thinking about decrease the scope of the team. Basically, what is the focus, and maybe to outsource the scope somewhere else. And also to provide some capabilities to other teams to work independently without us.
And what can that be? Like how they can work without you?
I don't know, some self-service layer, or like having a platform team or core team dedicated to do some integrations, and we can focus on what our team has to deliver.
Yeah, but more like making our, splitting our.
Yeah, the basic idea was to take our team and split it in half, make one of the half provide the platform for other teams to integrate. We have people who want to use the shopping cart, get some information out of it, to do analytics on it, or do some suggestions for other products, some upsell, have an API for them to read the current shopping cart, and have a way for them to provide micro front ends so that they can put in the stuff that they want to show in the shopping cart independent of us. We provide the platform for them to put their micro front ends in there, and we only care about that infrastructure in that platform team, and the actual content, what's happening in those small widgets, or what's happening behind the scenes with the analytics, stays with the team that is actually responsible and is expert in those things. So that they don't need to explain to us what kind of front end they need. They can provide this by themselves. They have their front end people there, and we provide with the platform team a way to integrate this in the shopping cart, so that the user sees a shopping cart that is actually consistent of different stuff that comes from different teams with different expert knowledge.
Nice. Alex, what do you think? Good, solid?
Yeah, I can say I love your answer. Yeah, so this is something what like CTO and VP would love to hear every day. Yeah, you come with a solution, how to decrease dependency, and so on. So thank you.
And just in one quarter, right?
Yeah. Nice. I'm really happy to see it. So let's look for more wisdom here in our group. Who thought about success criteria of your change? So let's say you could say, hey, in 3 months we expect this, like reduction or increase and so on and so on. Tell us, what is it?
Do you want to comment?
Yeah, so, and we also went with the thing that we initially would split the team and then we decided to go and look at all these requests that are coming our way and see what they are and then maybe either cluster parts of our team around those and in future grow these teams, taking people from other teams. And this would be one of the metrics, like so essentially measuring, what were those things? What are those called? Cycle something time, and seeing whether the requests are now implemented faster and tested and everything. The other one was had to do with tests. If these are and anything that is your lead time besides just reacting to interruptions, whether that is improved. I don't think I have time to go into all that.
Interesting. And did you consider something like reduction of amount of requests coming from another team, or maybe that other teams are being solved, amount of the problems they were able to solve by themselves?
Yes, that would be the first thing. If we just split our team into few smaller teams to deal with interruptions and support our own stuff, and then we would grow these teams, then naturally the idea at least was that instead of a bunch of interruptions coming our way, we'll just have so-called interruptions now would be streams of work dealt by streamlined teams, so this should kind of go away. And if this go away, that's the success.
Nice. Thank you for that. So, you want to comment?
Just generally, if you're proposing a plan to the next level or further levels up, having metrics for how you'll measure whether it's going to be working or not is things that those people will really enjoy, right? Like, if you come with a plan and say, we're going to do this, how will you know it's working, right? That's super important. It's hard, yeah? Like, nobody's saying this is easy, but how will you know will it work? How will you measure? Thank you. There's a good book suggestion here in the middle of the room. You can hold that up for everybody in the back, Accelerate. But it's really important to know that. I have one other meta question. Did anybody think about getting rid of some of the microservices or front ends or applications? Like, who was going to strip stuff out and just either combine it, kill it, whatever? Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of complexity here, and if you read this story, eight engineers started this organization and they built 14 microservices. This is for me already the first problem. There's more microservices than people. Why? Like, what are they all doing, and do we still need 70 they have now? Like,
They are so small.
Possibly, right? But so there may be potential to actually change the architecture to make it simpler to manage.
If I may, we actually, part of our strategy was to make an extensibility framework, and in that situation, our strategy was to make an extensibility framework. So we had the platform, which was API, and for the actual application itself, that was an extensible framework. And the great thing about extensible frameworks, they're effectively plugins. You got a plugin you're not using, or not maintaining, you obviously don't care about it. And as I see it, yes, we'd have to come up with a timeline for converting microservices and so forth, but if it's not actually a problem, you don't really have to care about it.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't hit on some of the stuff very last, but some of the stuff it's talking about legacy, backwards compatibility. These are signs that you can identify and say maybe it's time to just actually kill some of this stuff, right? Do we need to support an API that we originally created in 1998 still now? Maybe, but if so, then there has to be a justified business reason for it. Why are we still doing this? That team needs it is not a business reason. They have to provide a solid business case why they still need it. And in that case, you might be able to get rid of it instead of just hanging on to this stuff forever and not being able to update, being blocked, etc., etc.
I really would like to thank everyone who participated. To be honest with you, it's always a challenge for me to find the right balance of the complexity of the Katas that we are creating. And I was making them simpler and simpler and simpler and more straightforward. And this time I said, okay, there were so many people who already participated, maybe I should make it not so much straightforward. Variety of options.
When it was straightforward.
With a combination of things that needs to be solved over there, and I feel it like became way more complex. So all of you did a great job. Thank you for our juries to provide a great feedback, and I will love it that we do have a collective knowledge together.
Yeah.
Just.
And thank you everyone here. I think the discussion over the table was always more important than whatever we have between tables. And at least you have someone to talk to about this. And yeah.
So next kata we will have on 19th of November. And we will be talking about we will be practicing text strategy. There will be a couple of the book recommended just maybe in a couple of days. We also will start reading of them. So if you are interested, you can also participate in that, in reading those books. And all of you are welcome. You also have this QR code just below the table of contents. You can scan it and register if you like this one. There also will be event, it's not mentioned here, in December, 12th of December. We will have such called Blitz Katas. They will be really short, small.
And fun.
And fun. We will have about 20 minutes and we will have 3 or 4 of them. And there will be like more competition mode. So we'll have like December, fun, not so much
Christmas.
Brain, like brain break and so on. And then on 3rd of December, we also will have, it will be really limited for like 18 people only. Workshop on self-branding on LinkedIn. Because one of our goals is to encourage all of you to promote your self-branding, to post more, to like tell people about your insights, about how you're growing. And because of that, we would like to help you to learn to do this. And in addition to that, what you already can do this time, there will be photos. I really hope they will be prepared like for you somewhere tomorrow, so you can grab some of those photos with you.
No pressure.
No pressure. And you can post them on LinkedIn with some of your thoughts, some of your insights that you brought from here, or if you hated us, feel free to tell us as well.
I think,
and it's feedback time, Tim.
Yeah, so that's start of the end. So once again, thanks for participation. Thank you for coming here. Some of you already like 5th time in a row. That's amazing event. And I see people, new people, especially thank you for coming. Now you know, now you can tell everyone, as Alex said, please help us to spread the word in the LinkedIn, because we do it as a community event. So we actually not very good in LinkedIn promotion, everything, but you do good. So this time you see that's quite a big group here. So please doing this, and this is a feedback. So you have it also in your form. Just scan it quickly, answer a few questions, because we improve every time based on your feedback. The more data we have, you know what happens, the more improvement points we can find.
Let's just take 3 minutes right now. Please grab your phones. Please leave us feedback. I mean, if you don't want to, you can
do it later. Take the paper.
And yeah, like there are so many people who put so much love and attention in what you just experienced today, even if you didn't like it. This is great. We will learn how you can do it better, or where we failed.
And after you give feedback, that will be the end of official part. We still have time for a little bit of unofficial part. And of course, if you want to go, just give a feedback and let it go.
Before anybody leaves, I want to say a big thank you to the organizers. You put a lot of effort into this, preparing these sessions, getting people to come, finding a place to be, all of these things. These sessions, like I was speaking before over here amongst the judges, actually coming out and doing something as opposed to listening to 3 people on a panel, having a drink and a snack, those are fun, but this is really valuable. And this is a place where people can learn something and actually grow and do something, because a lot of us in engineering leadership, we don't have in our organization a community, like we can't go to our boss because the idea is not yet ready. We shouldn't talk to our employees because they might not like it or they might not get it, right? So having these spaces where we can come and network, build relationships and try stuff out, it's really super valuable. So like from everybody here, like we super much appreciate all of the effort you guys have put in the last 4 times, this time, and the next 45 times as well. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. And thank you for our host, definitely. Thank you for the space. Yeah. We will see.
Can we see?
Now we need a comment.
Okay.
So just fill it in. We'll read it after that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. And after you will start and go chat with everyone else, please take your chair and like put it on the back, please, over there.
That you said about chairs.